This is Anthony Freed Johnson, now known as X, and this is my story.
What's your story?
Gotcha. So for the people who don't know you, never heard of you, or saw you, tell them where you from.
Born and taught from Algiers, you know what I mean, from New Orleans, the west side. I'm what you like to call a true New Orleanian. I've been around the parks. Was raised with my grandfather uptown a little bit, lived all the way in the back of the West Bank in Kennedy Heights a little bit, and I've been all over, man, bounced around from crib to crib, but it's been all right, you dig, but I'm born and taught from Algiers.
Gotcha. So growing up for yourself, how it was?
It was a little bit different, man. I grew up in a household with all women, you know what I'm saying? And being the only boy in the house at times was a little bit difficult. My uncle moved out early on, so I kind of had to take the role of being a man kind of early. So it was me, my mom, my grandmother, my auntie, and my little sister. So it was a whole lot of hormones up in there, if you know what I mean. And for me to take that early on and learn, it was a little bit difficult, but we got through it, you feel me? Mom worked her tail off, did what she had to do to raise me. Grandmother and them kept me straight, so it was solid.
Gotcha. Because, you growing up, usually, like, every young boy who usually around like a whole lot of women, able to kind of, sometimes you might do stuff like women and not realize it. And until like a man tell you like, hey man, you don't supposed to be doing that because you don't have that male figure right there. So like, but who was the first person to kind of, correct you? But like, was it football coaches? Was it people around the neighborhood?
That's big time. My community was very close knit, and I ain't gonna lie to you. The people in the LGS community have always been kind of like family when it comes to that. So I had a lot of mentors. Rest in peace to Randy Crump. St. Augustine graduate was somebody that was a teacher to me early on. And kind of molded me and shaped me. I had guys like Derek Skip Lamont and Torrey Davies, you feel what I'm saying? People know him as Coach Toe, kind of helped shape me and mold me into who I am today. So I had great examples, and I was also an avid reader, you did, growing up, because I didn't pretty much see the examples all the time. So I had to kind of get it from somewhere. So I was very observant early on, you feel what I'm saying? So I read like books like the autobiography of Nelson Mandela, the autobiography of Malcolm X, Olude Equiano. I was just different growing up, you dig, but I grew up in New Orleans, so I watched the Hot Boys, Soldier Slim, and I watched how all of them people, BG said, I watched, I learned, I observed. You know what I mean? So that was one of my favorite lyrics growing up. I'll never forget it. So I had a lot of different examples, but those first three were kind of like the three that I kind of like molded myself after.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, football, like, at what age did you finally went out there?
Shit, man. What's crazy is I was one of those big kids. I was overweight. I didn't start playing football until Katrina hit. So when Hurricane Katrina hit, we relocated to Mobile, Alabama. And I was in middle school at the time in the 7th grade. We didn't have quote-unquote middle school football on the West Bank, only in Jefferson Parish. But I wasn't enrolled in those schools. So 7th grade hit, I went to Mobile, Alabama. The first football field we stopped the truck. My uncle hopped off the back and we jumped the fence, and the football coach walked up to us and he was like, I'm sorry, but this is for kids. And my uncle was like, well, he's 12 years old. You know what I mean? I had a full beard at the time. So
for the people, tell them, how tall you was.
So at the time, what's crazy is I kind of hit that spurt right there. At the time I was probably about 6'1", about
and 12.
250, yeah, about 250.
A grown man.
Grown man out there. So when I got to Mobile, they used to call me Big 12, and that was kind of my nickname when I got out there. I played with a lot of great guys. I played against A.J. McCarron, who was the starting quarterback at the University of Alabama, got drafted, and he was at St. Paul's Middle School out there. So we kind of went at it back and forth, Mayhees Middle School, but that's where I kind of got started. And then my grandmother, as soon as the city opened back up, she was like, boy, we going back home. So I kind of left that. And I didn't play football again until 9th grade, so I kind of went on like a 2-year hiatus.
Right, 12 years old,
yeah,
6 foot, over 6 feet, 250.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine being a kid trying to run away from you.
Not too many did, you know what I'm saying? What's crazy is growing up in the hood, they called me Bus, Jerome Bettis, because I was always the biggest, but I was the most athletic, you dig? So he wasn't getting too far, man, and I always liked to hunt, you dig? So that's what it is, man.
So, 2 years, so like, actually, what were you doing in them 2 years when you wasn't playing football?
Man, what's crazy, I got immersed for real in like basketball. That's kind of where I kind of got my finesse game from, and kind of where I kind of learned how to move. My mom never let me stop doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it was more so me, honestly, making my mind up and saying I wanted to be a great football player because I knew what I wanted to do, but I couldn't stop being active. So played AAU basketball. Played with some great players, man. Like Greg Monroe and those guys were on the older AAU team for the Panther Select, and I was kind of like, just a football player. Ricardo Gathers was under me. He was one of the younger guys, so we had a lot of guys that came through our program, and it was real cool for those 2 years to play basketball, move, lose a little bit of weight, and then when I finally got the chance to hunt, I was hungry. So yeah, it was cool. It was much needed.
Gotcha. So being over 6 foot, going to high school, 250.
Yeah.
How did you choose high school?
Now this is tricky. So I actually went to St. Augustine Academy before Katrina hit with Father Raphael. Like I said, Randy Crump, who was one of my mentors, was a St. Aug graduate. So I got a scholarship to go to the academy, and it was going well. Then the storm hit while I was at the academy. I believe that was Katrina. And then when we looked on the news, I was in Atlanta. I'll never forget that the whole school was flooded, like underwater. So when I came home, now it's time to pretty much choose a middle school. Stayed back on the West Bank, went to, at the time, Martin Berman, just reopened in Algiers, so I went there. And now it's time for high school, and Derek Skip Lamont didn't let me leave the West Bank, man. He was the head coach at LB Landry. Then he became the head coach at Old Prairie Walker. I had every school in the city, pretty much every school in the metropolitan area trying to give me scholarships. And that was just based off of potential. I never played. Like I told you, I never really played football. So nobody never saw me play. They didn't know what I could do. It just was like, hey, we want to offer you this scholarship. So that's kind of where I picked. Kind of went to Walker based off of default. My whole family went to Landry. Everybody's a Buccaneer, and I'm the only Charger. Well, me and my sister, she's a Charging Buck, but I'm the only Charger in my family.
And that's funny because my dad went to Landry. As soon as I went there, the man was named, I think his name was Mr. Bernard.
There you go.
And my family is from the Fisher Project.
Right.
He like, I don't need another one of y'all if you ain't in this district.
If you ain't in it.
It's like, I'm good on you.
Boy,
So I'm like, okay,
real,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I wanted to go to Landry. I'm like, let me see what this experience.
What's crazy was when you look at the alumni, when you look at Landry, it's kind of similar to college in a sense because you see like the camaraderie. You know, people gonna show up.
My daddy was a bandhead. He wanted go to Landry.
That's what they do. Go play the horn. Go play the beat tone, dog. If you ain't playing beat tone, go get on the tuba, baby. That's what it would have been. But, yeah.
But like just even think about you going to Walker. So before we even go further, like people don't realize Walker probably has the best football talent in New Orleans.
And I don't. What's great. Thank you for saying that. I don't like the boast. I'm gonna tip my hat. You know what I'm saying? But it's more so, man, when you think about the people that came before me was the ones that kind of set the trend for the city. And I hate to say it like, because we had Marshall Falk, we had Peyton and all of those guys. But when you think about Mike Wallace, Kendrick Lewis, Keenan Lewis, you know what I'm saying, Darryl Johnson, then you put Anthony Freed Johnson in the mix, Robert Kelly, Keaton Thompson, who was more so a Walker Charles. You think about the guys that kind of went out and set the tone. Like, Joe McKnight brought ESPN here, but Anthony Freed Johnson kept it here. Then Leonard Fournette made it even better. You know what I mean? So it's like when you can't, it's kind of like I told somebody about LSU yesterday. No matter how much you want to keep them out of your mouth, you're going to bring them up because the wide receiver from Miami, number 7, the first thing they say when he caught the ball, former LSU receiver, I said that's kind of what it is when it comes to Old Prairie Walker.
That's why I say, like, you mentioned a lot of players, but they all went to different schools.
We all went to different schools.
But Walker, like, it's crazy because I just walked out my office 2 weeks ago and actually saw Mike Wallace.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, what
Old Prairie Walker.
Like, people don't realize how fast that dude really was.
Man, look, the fastest player I probably played with. I played with a lot of great players, but when I got to see him with the Dolphins, we played together. We were teammates on the Dolphins for 2 years.
And people don't realize how good that people did make it to the NFL was playing for Walker. It's a lot of great athletes that was at Walker that didn't make it.
When it comes to the Bo Leslers, like we have a lot of New Orleans royalty. Right. And a lot of people fail to realize that, you did. We kind of get undermined because we're on the West Bank, of course, but in New Orleans, when you talk about athletics, when you talk about the athletes, you can't mention the great without mentioning the Old Prairie Walker Charles. And that's the best thing about being a Walker graduate. It's like, I got to go toe for basketball. Y'all got to carry killers, but we got Bo McKayla. You know what I mean? Y'all got this player, but who gonna mess with Anthony Johnson? You know what I mean? It's like it's a lot of things that we could, and women's basketball as well. You know, we got people that have made it to the WNBA, so we have a lot of people.
And basketball, like just alone, like man,
Bro.
I actually went to go see Bo get on it. But the crazy part is like I never seen another player yet from New Orleans that people went to call. They call Bo the bullshit
to go see him.
Like they want to see it.
I remember, like
he wasn't that tall.
He wasn't tall, and like you said, we grew up in the era where people were showing up to go feel it. I played against Greg Monroe.
He didn't even have the best jump shot, but he still. But I can lie to you, Greg Monroe stuff something to watch.
Different.
He was something to watch. You know, he got they got Mac down All American. I went to watch. And the crazy part is, even that Greg had a nice team. Like they had Bean on the team. They were screaming Beaner.
Bro, they had Calvin. That went to Howard.
People.
Calvin went to Howard. They had a lot of good players, bro. So like that's what I'm saying. The West Bank in general, it's a lot of people that don't know the West Bank is kind of like, and I hate to say it like this because New Orleans, like I say, New Orleans is such a
but you know, Algiers don't really claim the West Bank.
It's the Mecca now. We the city. We the 15th.
But the thing is, when I tell people, you know, like you know, I started in Algiers, gradually went to Marrero, then started going to the east.
There you go.
So my life been uptown everywhere. Just that's why I know so many people. But I always tell people like, man, it's crazy how they try to play Algiers, but Algiers was there before any award.
Everything, we the first.
It was the French Quarter in Algiers. If anything, y'all second. Algiers is New Orleans.
When you look at that big old sign by the ferry and it said the oldest neighborhood in New Orleans next to Treme.
Yeah, but the real New Orleans.
Come on, man, we was here first. I mean, every boat that ever was docked in Algiers first, and then we had to cross that water. So, like I tell people, Algiers is the Mecca. I like to call it that because that's where I'm from. I'm proud to be from there. You feel me? And I give praise to every other war because it's all different. It's like we said, that big old gumbo pot. You know what I mean? Everybody got something that they bring to the city.
So, but I started going to private school in Algiers. I started All Saints.
Where you was at All Saints?
We was getting whoopings.
Boy, I used to pick my what they used to do, the commodity box. I used to line up and get the commodity box from All Saints by the park. Yeah.
We had real nuns when I went.
Yeah.
We get whoopings.
Well, I remember that. All Saints was kind of like the big deal in Algiers, boy.
It was real.
It was real talk. And what's crazy is I knew a lot of great people with All Saints.
And so my daddy was proud. You know, he from, you know, Christopher Holmes. So he like, man, if I can afford to send my son to St. Aug.
Yeah, St.
I mean, I St. Aug. All Saints. I said the road. If I can send my son to St. Aug right now.
Fact.
But
that's
it's the brotherhood.
Your dad's ceiling was your floor.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So for you to go ahead and say that, that's the mindset we got.
Yeah, just me just thinking about it, like it probably was a proud moment, like being from Algiers, like man, but I can afford to send my son to a private school in Algiers where I'm from.
Facts. That's what's up.
You know, but moving forward, you know, you got 4 years at Walker. So like, explain to the people if I had them 4 years, I'm like went for you because like you know, if nobody never seen you play, but you over 6 foot. You know, they're like, man, that's a big freak.
Facts. It was different. Like my first year, you know, you got to go through the ranks. I didn't have no swag. I was out there. My coach just gave me a jersey, so I got number 88 from a coach, and my coach was like, "That's your number." And I was like, "Man, what number is that? One number? You know, like a single digit, number 157." But I took that number. I had a regular 3-ball helmet, no back flap, and my first year was kind of that. I got to prove myself. So I went out and I had over, I want to say like 19 and a half, 20 sacks my first year. And I was number 14, and everybody in the city was like, well, the state now, because I was pretty much all state at the time. It was like, who is this kid? So after that, I kind of took it upon myself. Like I said, I wanted to be great. So I never shunned away. You know what I mean? You know how a lot of people, when things got a little bit too bright, they might, you know, I was like, nah, when the lights got brighter, I'm going to get brighter. You know what I mean? And that was my deal. So the next 3 years went well. Started breaking records, went all district. Got MVP twice of the district and metro, MVP of the state. Then I became the Louisiana Gator, first defensive Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year, I believe, since Brady James, that played back in the 90s, you feel what I'm saying? So it was kind of a big deal. Then I broke the sack record for the state and the country. So it was a big deal for me, you feel what I'm saying, to do what I do, you know what I mean?
I remember you being young and me going out there to one of your practices, talking to you for the first time. I'm like, man, where the fuck this big ass kid come from? Like I never seen nobody. Like, you know, New Orleans don't really produce that many. Like, you and Greg Monroe was damn near like freaks.
Yeah.
Like, him being that tall, they don't make, like, your average person down here 5'6".
5'6", 5'7", fact.
Like, I'm taller than people and I'm 5'9", and that's not even normal.
Fact.
So, like, for to see someone in high school, like big, like you look like you look like you should have played in the NFL in high school.
I was one of those ones. Like I could have played. I looked the part, but I probably wasn't.
You wasn't fully developed and ready.
I wasn't here yet. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't really get there until probably my third year in the NFL, and that's when I turned 22. So I really didn't really get football. I'm playing football, but I'm just playing.
And what your mindset was the whole time, like when you playing?
I ain't gonna lie to you. First of all, it was, if you were smaller than me, I'm not about to let you, like, I gotta treat you how you look, you know what I mean? I've always been somebody that's like, and there's no disrespect, but it's like, football is such a gladiator mindset sport, and you gotta have that mindset in order to be great. So I always prepared myself to respect people, but to disrespect people, because that's the game. I'm no disrespect, I respect you, because it's like boxing. You gotta respect the man in the ring. But I got to disrespect you and put these hickers on your head, you know what I mean? So that was always my mindset when I lined up against people. But I had a lot of great guys I played against in high school and so forth.
Yeah, like the biggest people I saw, like y'all, like size wise, was like you and Leonard. Like man, just looking at Leonard, like why he playing? Like he should be on defense. He throwing people around.
Grown man. What's crazy? I missed it was we were in the same era, but St. Aug stopped putting us on their schedule. So I played St. Aug twice. Freshman year, I had like 6.5 sacks on.
But you wanted to play them, huh?
I wanted them. They didn't want us. We played them again at Berman.
Yeah, but that would have been a good high school matchup.
Ooh, he had old line. I said, boy.
Do you think he'd have ran over you?
Who? Let me tell you something, man.
Yeah, you don't gotta make this debate.
I love my baby boy. Now you know I love him. But there's only one running back that ever stiffed on me. I've never been run over, but by one running back, and that was Trent Richardson. I gotta give him this due. Real men respect real men. But in Louisiana high school football, Alfred Blue from Holmesville High School is the only running back that could say he stiff-armed or did anything to free, because I would have ran through somebody's face, man.
I ain't gonna lie now. But I saw Leonard like pushing people in the ground now. I don't know. That'd be good to see.
He was definitely before his time, but I would have hit him before he got going. Right. That was the devil. You got to get him right now.
Because I'm like, he wasn't no regular size running back.
No, indeed, he was 230 pounds, man.
Coming at you fast.
That with a bald head.
Bald head.
See when you're in the ninth grade with a bald head, boy. Boy, life a little different. So yeah, man, Leonard came through the ranks a little different.
Anybody in ninth grade with a bald head got a
PhD to go ahead and run through somebody's check, boy. You hear me?
Gotcha. Yeah, man. So senior year for you, I don't know if you, but I don't know you, but if you on like decided in junior or senior year, like, but college, like, kind of bring me, I'm like through that process.
So college was kind of, you know what I'm saying, it was different for me. So. Kind of went through a different process. I was offered as a 10th grader by the University of Tennessee by Monty Kiffin, Lane Kiffin, Frank Wilson, and Ogeron were on that staff as well. And that's where I kind of got the nickname Freak from Monty Kiffin. When I went to a summer camp out there, I ran a 40 and I ran a 4.640 hand time at the time, and I was kind of probably about 275, 280 pounds. And did my thing, and Monty Kiffin said the only person he saw do that was Javon Curse. Hence the Freak. So that's kind of how that name kind of trickled down and kept going. And I committed to them. And I was committed to Tennessee up until my senior year. And I had everybody. I had Charlie Strong was at Louisville at the time. You got Urban Meyer at Florida, Ohio State, Penn State. Everybody offered me. But I was just waiting on one offer. And I didn't get LSU. I'm like, I'm the number one player in the country. You know what I mean? And y'all didn't offer me until a month into my senior year of high school. But as soon as I got that offer, I was like, I'm staying home. You know what I mean?
You already knew it.
So I was like, yeah, it was, and I was getting recruited by, man, I kid you not, a lot of people asked me where I would have went if I wouldn't have went to LSU, and I probably would have went to Cal Berkeley. You know what I mean? Would have went out there to California and had a great experience at that, but yeah, I stayed home.
So, like, I had a cousin. Well, I say I had a cousin. I still have a cousin. Yeah, but he was the number 2 cornerback in the nation. So, I never really asked him, like, I'm going to just speak. Like, his name on that Kevin Tyler.
Oh, yeah,
but
he went to
LSU.
Yeah, baby boy.
But I'm like, great I wanted to ask someone, like, what it's like being in high school, and how do people treat you in high school? How do girls treat you when you talked about on ESPN, people, people in your hood trying to make sure you stay good and stay out of trouble.
You got to peep this. I was before that. So I was kind of like the introduction to Kevin and Leonard and all of them getting that. So it's all about timing. It's like Joe McKnight was so great, they had to put his high school game on ESPN. Anthony Johnson was so great, they had to. But then eventually they was like, we got to put all of these every week. Now you see Cone, probably national ranked TV, because of the exposure that so many people before, like Monchele Go, who's a great alum from Edna Carr, he put his work in to give that high school exposure as well. So you have a lot of players that put the work in to help these guys down here gain exposure. And I would just like to think that when it came to me, you dig, I did my due diligence to high school football, and it was different. You know, females treated you a little different. I did Xavier Prep homecoming a couple of times and did a couple of dances. You know, I was the only public school guy at a couple of schools and stuff like that. But it was different being quote unquote the man. I'm talking about NIL wasn't the thing, none of that. And you got so many people know you based off a name, you know. So
you was the man in that jazz, the West Bank, the whole New Orleans. Like defense, I never seen no one like that.
Yeah, man.
And you know, they like bring it back about just Al just having that talent who like most didn't see get to the NFL. You know, they had another player from Carr that everyone remember, but he never got that big break. Tonka.
Oh man, so me and Tonka grew up together. Played basketball against each other at Park Ball. Went to middle school together. Graduated from middle school at Berman, and then he went to Edna Carr. Went to Oprah Walker, of course. But me and Tonka Tollette George. You know, we used to talk about each other growing up, man. We had a nickname for each other and stuff like that. But he was one of those people that, even at Elkhorn, because he went to Elkhorn State, a swag guy. He made sure that he represented Algiers a certain way, and that's why you see Carr represent him with the number 5 moniker. I know every time they do his ceremony, his mom makes sure to reach out to me to make sure that I show up and I'm in the picture as well. So because it was one of those deals where, like I said, me being from where I'm from and just everybody knowing who I never shunned away from anything or anybody. But the love that, his mom poured into me, man. Tollette George was a great athlete. He's one of those stories where you'd be like, man.
Yeah, but that's why, I wanted to, like get someone else to spread the light on him. Because, but I posted him on like one of my blog pages and it kind of went crazy. But, I wanted you, like someone to really know him, like what type of player he was.
He was, if I had to compare him to somebody today, and I mean this respectfully, Michael Penix Jr., he was very, very, he was a lefty, of course. He was somebody that was definitely twitchy. He'll get you off guard. And Michael Penix Jr. led Washington to a national championship, which was in New Orleans a couple of years ago. He played, matter of fact, the Sugar Bowl that was down here in New Orleans a couple of years ago, and he was with Washington. So, I think Tonka would have been like Penix from the Falcons or somebody similar to like a Bryce Young from the Panthers. Not too strong of an arm. He wasn't too big of a person, but he was very smart and he can make plays, and that's what separated him. You dig? So he kind of started that trend for like the Speedy Noels and the smaller quarterbacks like John Johnson, who's doing his thing right now. Shout out to that young man who's doing his thing right now, and he kind of put the precedence in for guys like that. So yeah, he would have been kind of among those lines.
Actually,
yes.
So in New Orleans, hey, actually before we jump into LSU jersey, but we just had like something damn near like a black high school history. We had the blackest high school championship.
We did.
So how that was for you to even actually witness that,
man, to see the city. Because a similar thing kind of happened years back when Landry Walker and Carr were in the Dome, but they didn't play against each other. But to see those two historical programs, because you got to think about it, Carr put their work in. People might not understand that, it might not have been like the 60s, 70s, 80s, like a Landry or St. Aug, but when it comes to putting their work in, you can't deny 6 in a row or 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? That's history. So to see them go against a program that has such history like St. Aug, and then see all those alumni come out. Like I say, it's kind of being familiar with it, seeing L.B. Landry alumni show up for their school, despite the wins or the losses. It was amazing, bro. The Superdome was packed like it was a national championship game almost. Like it was a Southern Miss, like a New Orleans Bowl. It almost looked like the New Orleans Bowl.
And it should have been called.
It should have been called the New Orleans Bowl, like when Southern Miss played Troy or something. You know what I'm saying? But it was one of those deals to see everybody come through. You saw the tailgating, people out there talking smack. They coming together. You know what I mean? It was good for the city, man. It was good for the culture.
But you know the greatest satisfaction of that was?
Talk to me.
I just
Like a dog.
actually,
Like a dog,
hey,
yeah.
If they got their ring, like, yeah, y'all been talking about us, but look at us.
It's about that.
And we still on top, huh?
And people, we ain't gonna never stop being on top. I want I want everybody to know, and I mean this. LJ is over everybody, man. It ain't no disrespect, but they be just the mecca. It's better on the West Bank, God dog. That's why everybody coming now. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah. Talk to me.
So LSU.
Yeah.
You know, but you on like decided to go LSU. But you actually on like decided to go to LSU.
Yeah.
So bring me to your first year and everything. Like, matter of fact, bring me to your whole experience at LSU. You know, the few years you was there.
All right. Different, man. You know, I was thankful to be there early. Freshman All-American, freshman All-SEC. I balled out on the field. And it was crazy. I was an academic All-American too. So I kind of did both things. I did early freshman year. So partied. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Big Freak did his thing, man. I had the experience. When it comes to the reason why, and at the time, Nick Saban was recruiting me hard to go to Alabama. The reason why I didn't go to Alabama was because the first time I ever met Nick Saban, the first thing he asked me was, do you want to go to the N.F.L.? And of course I want to go to the N.F.L., but I want to go let me go to kind of like a house party. I want to go experience college. And so LSU kind of gave me the experience of a lifetime. I got to meet new people, experience different cultures.
Hey, but why you think he asked you that though?
Because it was more so business mindset. And what's crazy is he respected my answer more so than predicated it off of me not being mature enough. Because I'm still a 17-year-old kid that you're recruiting. And when you hit it, I'm like, yeah, for sure I want to go to the NFL. But I also want to experience college as well. Man, what do you mean by experience college? I pledged, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to experience pledging, you know what I mean? I didn't cross, but I still pledged. Like, I went through that experience, and I got to, like I say, go through things that a lot of people probably wouldn't have went through if they were just one-track minded. So I'm happy I didn't take that route because I got immersed in different things, you dig? But yeah, man, LSU, my experience was cool both on and off the field. So a couple of All-Americans, couple of All-SECs, played with a lot of great teammates. Those are pretty much my fondest memories with my teammates, my brothers. My mama cooking red beans for everybody after the game, after we beat everybody. So it's cool, man. Yeah, pretty cool.
Gotcha. So, you know, LSU, like, you know, for a kid that's got that dreams, like in New Orleans right now, because, you know, right now, if you playing football, you know, LSU going to be at your top radar. Because, like, man, I can stay home and I'm going to get celebrated. Like, when you play for LSU, like, I don't think, like, I never really experienced the game.
Yeah.
But I hear so many stories. I hear how the whole Baton Rouge treat you. Like, I want you to, you know, talk to the kids right now who thinking about just even thinking about going to LSU.
So I was a part of, you know, one of those teams, one of those historical teams. We went 13-0. Unfortunately, we had to play Alabama twice. So we played them and we beat them in the regular season, but we had to play them in the national championship, in which they won that game in New Orleans. But when it comes to setting the tone, and you know, you got a lot of guys and a lot of people that want to put that purple and gold on, you know. And I tell people, you know, it's a different kind of pressure, you know what I mean? It's because you got not only the state, but it's the brand. You know, it's kind of like that Cowboys or kind of like the University of Miami. You don't even know how powerful your brand is until you can just brand a letter. You know what I mean? That's not even, you're not even putting UM on your sweatshirt. You're just putting a U. And that's how powerful LSU is. You know what I mean? We're one of those brands where I try to tell people, man, if you have the opportunity to rep it, if you have the opportunity to be a part of it, be honored, because many want to be, they receive so many benefits from it. So, yeah, man, for the young people that's coming through the ranks, all these young whippersnappers that want to be a Tiger, you know, you got a lot of guys. I speak to a lot of those young guys right now, like Richard Anderson is up there right now, and he's kind of going through what I went through years back, a decade and some years back. He's on campus early. experiencing classes and trying to get to know his teammates during this season, during the spring. So I told him not too long ago, man, just keep your head down, remain steadfast, work your butt off, and establish yourself as a good teammate. So, yeah, man, that's what it means to be a Tiger.
A lot of you, like, as a kid playing football, did you think like a dream is like, man, to play for LSU in the Saints? And you never got your chance to play for the Saints, but you got the LSU, huh?
I played for what's correct. I tell people I played 10 years. I played 10 years, 7 years in the N.F.L. for 5 different teams, and I never got the opportunity to play for the Saints. But I didn't want to. I wasn't one of those. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't a Saints fan growing up. They weren't good.
Like a lot of you, I was actually proud when I seen Keenan play for the Saints.
It's when you get to go back to your hometown. That's different. And yeah, you got some guys that want to represent the team. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was more so blessed to be able to represent my city.
Right. But I just think, I was just thinking, I don't know what they was thinking, but I'm gonna say they probably in their mind like, I want to win a championship for my city. Like, like no one from New Orleans ever got that chance yet.
To do that.
Like I think Tyron that was Tyron mission.
And for T, I think, and you got to think about it, came towards the tail end. So to end it off there, you feel what I'm saying? That's kind of probably more so sweeter than being in your prime and not having an opportunity.
But like ending it with a championship, that would have been a movie.
That would have been beautiful. So me personally, if it's Cinderella-like, of course, you know what I mean. If I would have got drafted there, it would have been amazing. But I never really saw myself putting on the black and gold. I'm not gonna lie to you, and to everybody that's a Saints fan, you know what I mean. Who that? I guess. But yeah, man, I ain't never see myself putting on that black and gold.
LSU,
yeah,
balling hard.
Talk to me.
Like talking about like looking at the NFL now, like how was that journey all the way to the draft and like telling people actually, when did you get drafted?
So I was unfortunately an undrafted free agent. I went from the second round. Kind of was like the third or fourth defensive tackle on the board. I had an incident at the N.F.L. Combine where a drug test came back flagged. And I had to, I went through the ranks early. You feel what I'm saying? I'm one of those people that had to earn my stripes. And a lot of people, the NFL means not for long. So for me to be able to go ahead and get 7 good years out of the NFL and earn my respect while being undrafted, I outplayed a lot of the guys that got drafted before me and a lot of first rounders that are predicated. I want to say the only player from my draft class that played longer than me, and shout out to these guys, were Aaron Donald and Mike Pennell, who's one of my former teammates. And won a couple of Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs. So for me, it was one of those deals where, like I say, I was always somebody that whenever the pressure got put on me, I stood up and I said, okay, I gotta do what I gotta do. And so when that situation happened, I went to the drawing board. I reshaped myself, went ahead and fixed everything that needed to be corrected, and I had a long, beautiful career, man. Played for 5 beautiful organizations: the Dolphins, the Redskins, Colts, Patriots, and the Jets. Finished off with the Chiefs in 2020 before the COVID pandemic hit. And yeah, man, it was a pretty solid career for me. And going through the ranks while at LSU. Watching my cousin Eddie Lacy get drafted from Alabama. And
Shout out Eddie Lacy.
Shout out to my cousin. That's my cousin right there.
My boy.
A lot of people don't know, man. That's in our blood. So to watch him go through what he went through from Cox to Dutchtown to get to where he went, and then I'm sitting in the back and I'm like, boy, y'all, like it's kind of flipped almost. Well, you like number one here, then now you got to start from here to get back to glory. But I'm watching my big cuz almost in a sense start from there to get to the glory. So it was like I said, it was more so for me something I'm happy I went through early on.
Hey, but did you play against him?
Oh yeah, we played against each other. We got photos against each other. I'm gonna have to send that to you so you can go ahead and put that on.
Hey, so did he ever stiff arm you or you get that tackle?
Never. So he ran through the tackle, but he got tackled, if that makes sense. So I hit him. He kept going, but he fell. He fell, and he a big old boy. Now that's about 260 running the ball at the time. You know what I mean?
It's crazy because I knew Eddie Lacy, man.
Yeah,
he knew who I was, but it's like when I saw him, like this can't be a running back.
That's him, grown man. And when I tell you the most nimble running back I was like nimble, quick on his feet like a big old cat. We played them in Green Bay. Matter of fact, they came to Miami when I was with the Dolphins, and we beat them. No matter of fact, they beat us on the game-winning touchdown. But yeah, I'm an A-Rod, man. But that boy ran. He was running that ball, dog, and he was running through people. And I told him, I said, bro, you gotta chill, dog. It was him and Big Stalks, and you just couldn't do nothing with him. Big old knees. But yeah, he's one of them ones, bro. That's another West Banker that went to Dutchtown. You know what I mean? So like I said, we got a lot of talent down there on the West Bank, bro.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie to you. The West Bank is deep. Even all the way to Bell Chase with Chris Henry.
Come on, man. Chris Henry from Bell Chase. And we had
Duke Riley.
Duke Riley. And I like to speak about the quarterback they had from Bell Chase that never really, you said a lot of guys didn't go pro, but they had a guy, I say his name was Blake Matherin or something like that. He was one of the first Lamar Jackson, one of those players.
And Lamar Jackson type.
Oh, yeah, man.
I like you. Like the West Bank is deep from a railroad to Algiers.
Yeah,
that's Drake, like Hall of Famers.
Nevis.
No, I'm talking about older. Cardell Stewart.
Yeah, Reggie Wayne.
No, we got somebody still talking and representing.
What you talking about? Ryan Clark. You got Ryan Clark, man. And RC, shout out to my big brother RC. He gonna see this, man. The big swagger and them boys over there.
And I need RC to come on the show, man. Hey, represent, man, for the West Bank.
All y'all at the Pivot Freddie T, I'm talking to all my big brothers. You feel what I'm saying? Shannon, y'all holler at my boy over here at Nolazine. You feel what I'm saying?
But you gotta come do a platform in New Orleans.
Hey, you got to all see. Y'all gotta hit my boy up. He doing beautiful things over here, man. And that's why I pulled up, so you know it's real.
Hey, but then we in the sky, man. We got you safe.
The 25th floor.
And we gotta catch 2 elevators.
Bet they cinco, man. You hear me?
And it's like fully secure. You ain't even gotta bring security.
Come on, man. Come on, you good, dog. No blacklist over here. So come pull up, do what you do, bro. But yeah, that's the West. Like I said, man, the West Bank different, bro. It's different.
I ain't gonna lie. I remember being young, going to speaking on another person from the West Bank.
Talk to me.
And Reggie Wayne.
Come on.
He the first person that had won basketball game with John Everett.
You remember the All-Star game music?
Yeah, he had Clinton Portis.
Everybody.
Clinton Portis. No, I'm speaking on Clinton Portis first. His neck was so fucking wide, and I'm like, what the fuck? They look like aliens coming. Like, that's the first time I met Edrin James. I just seen Edrin James down here like a week ago.
That's my boy. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like just those experiences with those players doing celebrity games, getting all them football players there is like kids, like I didn't even play football, but I still remember those experiences.
So shout out to another guy that put on stuff like that, Trevon Reed. He's not from the West, man. He's from Thibodeau.
I know you're talking about.
But Trevon, he kind of did the similar thing that Reggie did. So Reggie Wayne was one of those guys that, he gave back to the community in a different way. I remember when people thought he was going to build Reggie's World or Wayne's World.
Yeah, he was about to.
He was about to, bro. And I'll never forget it. It was supposed to be made in Promenade, Bell Promenade, I think. And, man, it was going to be a big deal, man. But when you got guys like that want to give back, bro, and you see different type of guys walking to the gym, that's what inspire you. You know what I mean? Like, you be like, I want to be just like that. You know what I mean? And I really didn't get to have those experiences until I'm in high school and you see Mike Wallace pull up. And you see Keenan pull up, and you see Buster Davis. I forgot about Buster. That's the first rounder. You know what I mean? You got Buster that pull up, and me, and I'm like, boy, I could do this, boy. You know?
I remember talking to you. I think Mike Wallace had like a cap, and you was there.
Yeah,
and he had the Rolls Royce.
That was my rookie year.
It was Algiers.
Yeah, we pulled up. I had the Matt Ray Range Rover. We pulled up. We all parked next to each other.
Like looking at the Rolls Royce in Algiers. Oh, that was a different experience.
Bro, my first, when I came back to New Orleans in the Matt Ray Range Rover, they thought I was Birdman. So to see that, like I'll never forget it. All-Star weekend. This had to be either 14 or 15. We pulled up in the city, me, Keenan, Kendrick, you got Aston Martin, Rolls Royce, Range Rover, Lamborghini. You got all these different cars lined up, and then we said, man, we about to ride.
Algiers looking good.
And on L Street just when I said, boy, but I'm a baby now. And I say to myself, boy, I done made it, ain't it? So that's the type of, shout out to Algiers, man. I don't know if too many people from the city did that, but I know we did that. That's a fact, you did. So, but yeah, man.
But you actually seen, y'all, it seemed like a brotherhood now, Algiers. Yeah. Like if you made it to the N.F.L, it was like a brotherhood.
We, till this day, Cole won the championship, I'll never forget it. And this is the difference, right? So, Car won their championship, and us as Algerians, we're going to show up and support people. So they had an event at K Social. Shout out to everybody over there. And, the alumni from Car were doing their thing. They deep up in there. But as soon as it was me, Dennis Christopher, Mike Wallace, Kendrick Lewis, as soon as we all saw each other, man, you must have saw the energy shift. And we just went to dancing. And but you seen these Charles, only 4 Charles in there. But it's just
it's different.
It's out. But everybody loving it. You know what I mean? So to see all of that energy, man, in one place, it's a beautiful thing, man. So yeah, bro, it's cool to see LGs, like I say, on top, bro.
But we got one more player we gotta mention in the NFL right now doing this thing from the West Bank.
Talk to me. We got a couple, bro. We got Jamal Chase from Harvey. We got I don't know what Christian from. I got to see what Christian Fulton from. I know he's from the city.
I'm tripping. Christian Fulton grew up under me.
Bro, come on, like we got a couple of people.
But I'm talking about Jamal Chase is like playing he like one of the top wide receivers. But Christian, I ain't lie to you, Christian been good his whole life too.
Bro, we
Christian
got a lot of people that when I name people, they say, "Dang, he from the West Bank too."
And Christian,
Christian.
Shout out Christian.
They just go to Rumble. Anthony Johnson went to St. Aug because we had the opportunity to get something. Not saying that our schools aren't great.
But I actually had one cousin that actually went to Rumble and played for Arkansas.
Get out of here.
And Henry Tolliver.
That's my boy. He was my rookie in Indianapolis.
And so both Tollivers, Kevin Tolliver and Henry Tolliver.
He was my rookie. Henry played deep number 42 for the Indianapolis coach for a couple of weeks. He was there for training camp too, playing the preseason. He was great. He was a great player. One of my teammates he was my rookie. I got a dog from Arkansas. Yeah, so I know we got a couple of guys that had to do their due diligence to get where we had to get.
I ain't lying, but they gonna have to do like one flag football, the West Bank against the East Bank, because they be talking stuff. But I can lie to you, like if a defense and I can't even just say defense. Like we had some quarterbacks, wide receivers.
All their players put the work in the 90s, 80s. Right. We put our work in now, so it's like y'all we done. Right. You know what I'm saying? we like them old dudes from the 56. We done. We did more than y'all had at a certain time. Because like I said, you got Peyton, you got Eli, you got all of those guys from the city, Tyron, that dominate Leonard. But it's like, man, when you think about Mike been running 4-2 since 2002, man. We put our time.
I ain't lie to you though, but just thinking about just the whole city of New Orleans.
Yeah.
From Kenner surrounded, like man, even the outskirts
you got outskirts.
I think just this area, like a metropolitan area, needs like a museum for the football players.
For athletics. The same way.
Just for football. I ain't even thinking about basketball yet, just football.
Just football. The same way, and you got a great example. That's a beautiful photo. So the same way they just started that New Orleans Walk of Fame with Master P and all of them doing, I think they need to go ahead and try to find a way to honor the athletes because New Orleans.
They need to put in champion squad even though they ain't play for the Saints.
You hear what I'm saying? Like the ones, and it's more so the ones that had like a resume that
the All-Americans
gave New Orleans notoriety. You know what I mean? You brought notoriety to a city that
in the school
didn't, and the school. So it's more so like I respect that, you dig, and that's something they need to look into. So I don't know who on the council right now, but go ahead and look into that.
We'll make it work out.
Come on, man, honor those that did the due diligence, man. Come on, man.
So you mentioned the NFL, aka. Yeah, but not for long.
Not for long.
So like people don't know the business of the NFL. People don't know its politics. That's why there's a lot of players that's actually capable of playing for the NFL, but they don't realize it's a business. It's politics.
A huge business.
And it's also, you gotta be a brand too.
That's
so right. Explain, the NFL to a person who just thinking it's sweet and thinking it's, it ain't business and all that.
Nah, man, it's 100%. The NFL is one of those establishments where it's 90% based on who you know, not what you know. You have a lot of talented people in certain positions, you feel what I'm saying? And I'm not taking anything away or discrediting anybody that's at a position, but if pretty much you got that position based off of somebody that's in that organization that probably put a word in for you, or somebody from across the league that you probably know that has power in a certain area that probably put that word in. So me, like I say, for me, I was always, because of my situation at the combine, I was always brought in more so to be like a camp body. Like I'm going to be one of the 100 people, and then when it come to training camp days and when it come to cut days, You go ahead, you say, okay, we brought this guy in for a body. Go ahead, get him up out of there. Every time it was time to cut me, you couldn't because I was one of those guys that was like, oh, we drafted him in the first round, but man,
And we need him.
Kimbo, yeah, you know what I mean? So I was always that unfortunate imbalance, but I became a beautiful thing for me because I was a journeyman. And when I say journeyman, I got to live in Miami. I got to live in Indianapolis. I got to live in New York. I got to live in D.C. I got to live in places where a lot of people wouldn't get to travel early on in life. And for me to experience all these different cultures, people, and places, it was cool. But the political part of that was pretty much what I just told you. I had to go in, let's say, for example, I was playing for the New England Patriots. And, our defensive coordinator at the time, Matt Patricia, they probably drafted a guy named Malcolm Brown, played defensive tackle from University of Texas. We had Malcolm here for the Saints for a little bit, too. He was a rookie under me. I was already in the league for a couple of years, and Bill Belichick and them brought me in to make the team. So I'll never forget this. This is about week 9 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bill walks up to me and told me I'm starting. And this is my first start in the NFL, High tower with Jamie Conn. We all celebrating Chris Long. But after that, you kind of seen like a look on Patricia's face, like, you're not my guy, like, but are you going to be ready? And I told him it's my job to be ready. You don't have to worry about that. We won the game. I had the only quarterback hits on Landry Jones that game. That was the game Malcolm Brown picked Antonio Brown off and started doing the celebration in the back of the end zone. But right after that, I got put on practice squad. Played for 9 weeks straight, started in week 9. Then when week 10 comes, I got put on practice squad. Malcolm Brown gets his starting position back. And I'm just sitting at the crib like, I just started, had 3 tackles, two tackles for loss against Le'Veon Bell. I'm the only one got hits. But it's more so that aspect that when my agent called me, Drew Rosenhaus, he was like, hey, buddy, we got 2 teams. Because on practice squad, other teams can reach out to your organization and say, hey, we want this guy, and that team can't hold them back from signing you if they make an offer. So at the time, I had the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Houston Texans, and the New York Jets. And my agent was like, where you want to go, buddy? And I was like, I'm already in Massachusetts. I'm not about to play with the Patriots for too much longer. Let me go to New York so I could go ahead and ball. Then when I get there, it was even worse because I look at the roster. You got Muhammad Wilkerson, who just got $100 million. They just drafted Leonard Williams, who's the star for the Seahawks now, so he's a first rounder. Sheldon Richardson from Missouri was a first rounder. So now I got to play behind all these guys, but I made that team there too. So it was more so me not being. I wasn't supposed to be in places, and I just stuck. You did.
Like, the crazy part is, it's like even it being a business is also like it's about making the right decision.
You got to.
Like even choosing the right agent that's connected. It's so much you gotta start from. You gotta it's so much that kids don't even know. Like choosing the right agent or the right people around you can actually determine how long you will be in the NFL.
I feel like
because running backs usually don't supposed to stay that long at all.
No.
So for you to even get 5 years, you probably chose the right people,
bro.
And you played your ass off.
Bro, what's crazy? I had an agent. I signed with an agent before I got with Drew Rosenhaus, but I fired that agent going into my second year, and I signed with Drew Rosenhaus, man. And when I tell you, they just call him the mob boss, the mafia boss. Like he walks in, white tee, blue jeans, slick back gel hair like he John Travolta, and the people say what he says goes. Man, I want to say probably the biggest discrepancy in our relationship, it really wasn't miscommunication, but at the time, like I said, if you're an agent with so many big time players, you're not worried too much about me, but it was more so you got Antonio Brown you represent. You know what I'm saying? He the biggest star. He on TV every day. You talk. I remember at one point Drew Rosenhaus was just talking about Antonio Brown on ESPN every day. And I was calling him like, big dog, the Jets doing me this, the Patriots doing me this. Like, what's up? I need some. But that's the politics side of it. It's like, hey, I love you, Kimbo. Don't think I don't love you, but this my money, big dog. So it worked like that. You know what I mean? That's how it worked, bro.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, NFL, this is a thing that, people really don't speak about. But, if they say, but this happens starting Pee Wee League.
Yeah.
If a CTE.
Yeah.
So, explain, but a few things, like them hits, even cause the game has changed now. Like, there's a certain way you can hit a person. So, like being the NFL, like being on a defense, like how high is the risk of actually, of even like suffering those like those injuries, I'm gonna say, because like some people say, but it starts with like concussions.
Yeah, it does. So CTE is one of those diseases that occur over time. And the more something happens, whether it's like a vital blow to the head or you pretty much just, like I said, ramming yourself into something without the proper technique, you're going to grow it. So I'm thankful that I never had a documented concussion, and I never had those symptoms before, but because I played the game a certain way, I know that I'm probably more so predicated to it later on in life as time progresses. Anybody that's had, whether you're a boxer, whether you're, like I say, football player, rugby player, if you're somebody that experiences head trauma for over a certain amount of time, it's common to build. But a lot of people don't know that it was more common in like the older guys because they didn't have like the proper gear and techniques to play. It's been less precedented, and more so a lot of families are donating brains of family members to get scans and things like that. I'm blessed because as a former player I can go to California and get neuro scans and get connected to machines and get scans of how my brain works, things, how it works when I'm sleeping, etc. And the doctors in California, for me, look over that and tell me, okay, this is the progress, this is what's going on with your REM sleep and how your brain works when you're resting. So I'm thankful that as a former player, we have programs set up for us now to go ahead and get ahead of that if that presents itself, rather than being diagnosed with schizophrenia or bipolar, all because we just play the game that we love.
Right. And like I think it's something that's just occurring to these people. Like, you don't, if you see the transition in the player attitude and different things like that, and everyone just want to be, quick to judge the person, but y'all was just fans.
Y'all was just fans. And I think that's one of the added trigger. I'm blessed because my transition was different than a lot of other players. I was thankful enough to dive into different things early on in my life. So when I left the game of football, it wasn't hard for me to just go ahead and dive back into life. You know what I mean? Right. Being an everyday citizen. But being myself, when you're somebody who was prominent and very prominent at one point in a city where, like I say, we didn't have the eyes on New Orleans, yet we had the eyes on our city because we knew who was popping in the city. But Houston wasn't worried about New Orleans. Miami wasn't worried about Dallas. They wasn't worried about New Orleans. You know what I mean? So for me to be somebody that kind of started that and to not get walked by or not get put over or walked over, but to and I'm seeing people who I kind of put in position, and I'm like, sometimes it can get to people, but you more so have to respect timing. And I'm one of those people that understands that, because when I see those that came before me, I walk up to them and I let them know, like, man, I appreciate you. Nice to see you. Like Garrett Temple. Anytime I see the big dog, with his home or whatever he's doing in the community, I got to walk up to him and let him know what you say, Tiger. It's good to see you, big dog. How you doing? Because of what he did, I was able to be myself, you dig, and Mike and all of those people. So stuff like that does happen, and I think the transition is tough. And when you don't gracefully give people their flowers, a lot of people look at that as a turn on you. So I'm thankful that I never looked at it like that, and I never had experiences to where I felt as though my city didn't appreciate what I did for them. So yeah, I'm good.
Not being a drafted NFL player, how did you manage to live your life throughout them years, financially? Because you hear these stories about people blowing their money quick and different things like that, and everybody not really trying to help you, show you. All your friends got ideas of starting a business. It's just, it's a lot of ways to blow the money.
Come on, man.
So it's how did you manage to learn early and and also kind of explain some things that you actually went through for to help people watching this interview right now?
Bro, it's anybody that knows Anthony Johnson knows that I'm a giver. You know what I mean? So I've always been somebody that gave. I've never been somebody that shunned away from giving, but early on, I had to go ahead and put my foot down. I never came from a lot of money. So when I started having interviews for agents and things like that, I also put in a financial advisor interview because I wanted to make sure that I had somebody who was literate in finances to handle my money at the time. I'll never forget the first check I got was for $48,000 from the Miami Dolphins. And I'm looking at this check that I never had a check for more than $1,000. I called my mom and I'm like, man, we got 48,000. She like, boy, put it in the bank and make me power of attorney. I said, Ma, you ain't never had no $48,000. So why I'm about to make you power of? So it's a whole lot you have to go through, man. So those things like that will happen. Like for example, today I don't know how these kids are doing NIL without the proper financial literacy and education, because a lot of our parents and a lot of people before us probably never seen $700,000 right there. They probably never seen $20,000 every other 2 weeks because your son has an NIL deal. You know what I mean? So me personally, I went out and I got me a financial advisor. Shout out to Amy Burns. She helped educate me in financial literacy. I bought books. Like I said, man, I was different. I did the work on my own because I had to. I wasn't blessed to be the first rounder to have enough to pay them off and say, y'all take care of all this. Yes, at one point I had people in place that handled bills, that I took care of them and had a salary because I was able. But eventually, once you taper off of that, you have to be financial literate. So I'm that person. I tell people, man, you know, your shirt got a horse, my shirt don't, but I look good in mine. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting up here counting pockets. It's all about preference. It's all about what works best for you. And it's all about choosing real life. And I'm somebody that chooses that, man. I'm not into the facade. So it's been easier lately because, like I said, early on when you get out the game, you still think you got it. You know what I mean?
Right. So like, you know, people still look at you like you got it. So,
Facts.
So like if you was wearing designer and you stopped wearing it, people look at you like you fell off.
And you want to know what's crazy? It's more so, and I'm thankful I never really, because I was back in the day, I'm talking about Fendi belts, True Religion jeans, every pair of Jordans. You know, back in my day, I say back in my day, but it wasn't more so like a Louis or nothing, but I was like big on like Polo, Lacoste and all. I'm going to Dillard's buying the whole store. You know what I mean? That's what I was. Because that's what we was in the city. You know what I mean? It was more so, boy, if you had the Polo, Fred pair of jeans, some G-Nikes, you own. You know what I mean? So when I got to the league, that was more so my mindset. I was still on that. So yeah, eventually I got mature minded and said, man, $500 for those jeans don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like nice things. I take care of myself. I got a $300 hat on now. I got some $700 boots on. But it's more so me being mindful of if I can't afford, and I like the rule, the double time rule. If you can't afford it twice over, don't buy it. But I'm also like to say, because I'm blessed, if you can't purchase that thing 3 times, leave it on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't make no sense and it's not going to help nobody. And nobody here to prove no points, man. So, yeah.
So, NIL, she speak of NIL. How much you think you would have had at NIL?
Probably about 6 and 7. I would have had about 2 Appaloosas in the 9th ward, about 3 Manchus.
Like a person coming from New Orleans, straight, the boy. Size you were.
I would have been straight.
Like you would have had some money off of it went all through the colleges.
Bros, from singing to being personable. I see a lot of people now, you know, a lot of these high school games. One of the things that I'm blessed that I had early on was like media training. I was very, passionate about speaking in front of the camera and things like that. 10th grade, 9th grade, 11th grade. So, man, you would have saw me on commercial for churches. I would have been, we would have, the whole city would have had something to do if we would have had NIL in our time, bro. Because, we would have had the David Bussers back then. Yeah, we would have did that. We would have did
But the crazy part is, like you just spoke on it, I think that a lot of high schools should start offering that to those top players and them players that you see potentially, like just have a class just for them for media training and financial literacy.
They need that.
Because just by you doing that for them players gonna remember that and they're gonna give back to your school.
And they're gonna separate themselves.
Yeah.
And you putting yourself in place. So I think it is something that's
I think it will help the school because like a player remember like you saved my life.
Come on, man.
I'm about to come back and invest in a football field or something. Because guess what? You helped me not blow the money.
Come on, man. You helped me understand what it was when this guy was trying to bait me into something. And I say, you know what? That's not like Shador Sanders. His media training is by far some of the best because of his father. He watched his father deal with the media. He actually went through it himself. So I think a lot of people, like I said, that's the only thing we're missing in place in like a New Orleans. And that's why it's beautiful to see us getting the eyes now because we see the Dallas Texases, we see the Miamis, and we see the Los Angeles. And when you see those high school guys, yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. Blessed, I'm thankful. Blah, blah, blah. Then when we get to New Orleans, it's like, yeah, and I'm like, nah, boy, but we the better player. We the 5-star. We the one that everybody won't see on TV. And I'm like, boy, just give us some time. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, it's not a knock, but it's more so a bar that has to be met. You know what I mean? Because it's a standard. If you want to be a part of that standard, that's the standard. You dig? So.
Gotcha. So and before we go, but to a life after the NFL, I want to ask you this. Like I asked Mike this.
Yeah.
But like he used to make me want to come a lot. Yeah. How was life as an NFL player in Miami?
I didn't sleep. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't sleep. I'm talking about if work. I'm talking Monday through Friday. I went out and I worked though. We played hard. What's crazy? We had a winning record when we played for the Dolphins. We were 8-8. We were over 500. We were supposed to go to the playoffs, but we got beat out by I want to say it was the Bills that year in our division. But Miami, bro, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. You have to be mindful of time. You have to be mindful of the people you keep around you. I was somebody like being from New Orleans. I always hung around Haitians, so I was around a lot of those. When I first moved out there, one of my favorite teammates, Louis Delmas, was a Zoe. So when he came back and played for the Dolphins, it was game over for me. So I was around Mike Wallace, Louis Delmas. I had a lot of Randy Starks, the Pouncey brothers. You know what I mean? I had a lot of people that kind of took me under their wings, and it was different, man. But I like to tell people my life, and I'm not even. There's not even no pretend, if you ever look at the TV show Ballers, like that's what it was for me. Like when I walked in and I see Mike Wallace got a crib and you got to walk over a bridge with koi fish and I leave and they got the Lambo in the parking lot. You got this right here and you got, I'm looking like, boy, where we at? Now we at the club, confetti dropping, smoke here, this one, that one, Nick Cannon there, she over there. It's like, goodness gracious, you know what I'm saying? So Miami is that, bro. So you got to be mindful of what you're doing, dog. Yeah, for sure.
And just live on Sunday. I just was talking to headliner this weekend, like Michael Gardner. He wanted me to come out there and do the interview at Live. So just his experience of giving me at Live, like Miami is.
That Phone Blue, boy. Like, let me tell you something, man.
They don't even have a line at Phone Blue. People don't know. There's no line. You gotta really know somebody or just it's like. But all it is ropes.
That's it. What's crazy is you see the calls. People think that those are the people putting up for the club. Boy, they're going to their rooms. You
people live there.
You have to be somebody. So I had a condo when I was going out there at the Soleil on the ocean, not too far down from the Phone Blue, and you would see people just go to the Phone Blue and get ready for Live on Sunday, dog. So yeah, it was the KOD was popping when I was out there. It was a lot of stuff to do, dog.
Oh, yeah. I like Tussies.
Tussies.
$1 million room. $1 million spot or something.
I was on the second floor before Drake was getting shoulder rub. Goddamn. I was up there eating sweet chili ring and seafood rice with the lobster tail. All right, yeah, up there eating good, goddamn. So don't get it twisted. Yeah, we was out there living good. Now we was doing. I did everything in a good manner. Right. I did it respectfully.
So, leading with that, life after the NFL, tell people, but what did Big Freak do after life, after the NFL? Because, some people start to go into, depression because they don't know what they're going to do. Yeah. Some people, man, they don't know.
Right. So, for me, I kind of went into the community. Started pouring into the community, and the first thing I did was I came home. I sat down on the bed because I'll never forget. I said I could go back to Miami and I can go and do my thing, but sat on the bed when the pandemic started and kind of prayed. And I said, man, I'm going back to New Orleans. So I started pouring into the fitness community. I've been in good standing now for the past 4.5, 5 years at AXG Fitness, and it's been going well. You feel what I'm saying? Then I got into my music. And my music actually is what has kind of put me back into the public eye. I've always been prominent in singing. I grew up a singer. And, when people started saying that, oh, Big Anthony, so, the New Orleans community knows me as Big Anthony. So when the people in the city kind of started saying, like, but girl, Big Anthony's singing, or man, y'all seen that boy Big Anthony singing at the House of Blues and so forth and so forth. I had sung for about 5 or sold out shows for Blake Owens at the House of Blues. And all of those went well. And I was just an opening act, supposed to sing 1 or 2 songs. And eventually I got 4 to 5 song segments. And I'm sitting up here with 30-minute segments on for concerts and things. And eventually I started pouring into myself and doing my own music. But like I said, I poured into the community, started diving into myself, poured more into my daughter. She's been a big key in my life ever since she's been born. She's 13 now, and to watch her be who she is and to be a father is something that's beautiful as well. So I've been keeping myself busy, you know what I mean? Like I said, so it's all about the transition for me was beautiful because I knew what it was I was going to put myself into afterwards. I wasn't a one-trick pony, and I said, let me go ahead and do what I do, man. I bought a couple of toys, got me a horse, and man, you live life. You know what I'm saying? You do what you do when you can. So I'm blessed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, you know, through your whole experience in the NFL, playing football, being a freak of nature,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
what do you enjoy most about, you know, your full experience, and like, what did you didn't like about it?
The one thing I appreciated about the full experience was the relationships. I appreciated everybody I got to meet. Like I said, you know, me, Jabal, Shear, Chris Long. I got a lot of people I talk to every day. Odell, you know what I mean? All of my brothers, Jarvis Landry, you know, Brad Wing. I got a lot of people that till this day is the camaraderie that I think people don't understand. When you leave the game, that's what a lot of people miss, you know what I mean? Because we can still go out, we still human, we can still link up and get a drink here and there. The one thing I probably didn't like was more so, like I said, you have a lot of people that don't get fair opportunity. And it's not because they're not a good player. It's more so because of political reasons. Like you might have not just been drafted by that specific person, or the people that brought you in might not like you for this scheme, and you might not get that many snaps. So when you do get your snaps, you got to make the best of them. So it was more so the opportunistic side for me. Because I put myself in position, man. I was a 265-pound nose tackle playing next to 300-pound behemoth. So I always put myself in position, man. But that's the thing I didn't like the most about it, man. But yeah, that's to sum it all up. The NFL gave me the opportunity to, you know, experience things that a lot of people wish they could experience, whether that's people, places, or things, man. So yeah, I'm thankful for both.
Gotcha.
Dog.
So, hey, but what's next for you?
I'm not lying to you, man. Like I said, my music is doing what it's supposed to do. Everybody that wants to go ahead and check my music out, I go by the name of X. And all of my music is on every streaming platform, man. If you're looking for my social media, my Instagram is at AJX5. And you can find my music under the bio as well on the link. But I have a few projects coming out, man. Got some things about to pop off, and actually working with one of my good brothers, Fletcher, who's over I believe it's the Going Global people down here in New Orleans, man. So shout out to Going Global, doing this thing.
That's funny because they just like something.
That's Fletch.
Shout out Fletch.
Shout out to Fletch, man. Great dude too, man. One of the people that I feel like need to get more notoriety for what he do for the local artists in New Orleans.
Yeah, I just talked to him actually this weekend because I told him, hey, but I actually dropped the book and he said he wanted to purchase one.
Come on, man.
And so the dopest thing about my book is I'm gonna make it a journey. So everyone who buy my book, I'm gonna put them physically in my documentary.
Get out of there.
So I'm gonna record them and tell them like why you even supported me. Like I'm gonna put that just my whole every time I sell a book, I'm gonna sign it and I'm gonna make everyone a part of my story.
As you should, brother. As you should, because you heard me. A lot of people don't understand. When you not only pour into people and be genuine, dog. Right. Like I said, I just spoke his name. You say he just likes something, right. And you say, man, I spoke to him. He said he gonna buy a book. So it's more so like that, man. When you got that genuine energy and it's bouncing off of people, I tell you, man, you gonna know what it's about. So yeah, man, shoot, that's dope right there. But I'm looking forward to that, man. And everybody need to look forward to that because that's another big deal down here for the city, bro.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man.
And last but not least,
talk to me.
Do you want to give any shout outs, telling people, if you already told them where to follow you at, but
My biggest deal is, man, shout out to, so my mom had a happy belated heavenly birthday to my mom. She just had a heavenly birthday. So shout out to mom, shout out to the fam, shout out to Lane Kiffin and the LSU Tigers right now, doing their thing on the road. Shout out to everybody that supports people that pour love into everybody, man. So if you're one of those people in the city or on the outskirts, or if you're watching this in a different country, and you pour love into people, shout out to y'all. Shout out to the people that support the stopping of all of the genocides, man. I'm with you all. And yeah, man, if you support me, thank you. You feel what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say. And dilly, God, dog.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I think LSU need to give you a job.
Nah, I ain't never been. Let me tell you something, man. I ain't run from the pressure, God dog. But get what? This ain't what they want, boy. I'm come from a different cloth, God. From a different cloth. You hear me? Yeah, man.
Hey, but all right, we done.